Tim Hortons That's Hockey Playoff Edition on TSN.
If there's been one surprise at the World so far, it's been Team USA.
Odd-man chance, Capello scores!
This young squad is undefeated and going for win number 4 against Belarus. Also, the Czech Republic look to recover from their loss to Canada as they take on France and try to climb back into contention.
They score! Jaromir Jagr!
Day 7 at the Worlds starts now. A week has flown by. Day 7 at the World Hockey Championship. Today in the Czech Republic. The Czech Republic against France. Is that the real trophy they have? No, gotta be a fake. At the O2 Arena in Prague. And also United States against Belarus. Jack Eichel getting ready. The Kostitsyn brothers will also be playing. Team Belarus has never beaten Team USA. Jaromir Jagr coming off a loss to Team Canada. Number 68, Antoine Roussel and Team France have never beaten the Czechs. Roussel is the most penalized player in the tournament. We'll see if that plays out here today. Hi, everybody. Rod Black back with Bob Airy. Had a couple of days off. Canada has a couple of days off. They will play France on Saturday. Team USA trying to match Team Canada right now.
Well, it's been a lot of years. 1939, the last time USA opened the tournament 4-0. They get a chance to do that in Group B today, and a great young hockey team with a lot of passion, and they have been the surprise of this World Championships.
Yeah, the Americans, since you were a young boy, that was the last time, Bob.
Thanks.
Here's our sked today. As always at the Worlds, we've got 4 games for you simultaneously this morning. Czech Republic and France, and also the United States and Belarus. Then later today, Sweden trying to bounce back from their loss to Canada yesterday, 6-4 against Germany, and Finland against Slovenia. But first up, it's the United States and Belarus. Let's send you to Ostrava and join Shane Noddy and Dennis Bayak.
Coming off the big win over Russia, Team USA enjoyed a couple of days off, and now they get back at it today.
Well, time to have fresh legs for this team, and a real big win against Russia. What the coach like, Todd Richards, with his hockey team is the speed. We talked about it's a young team, but their ability to track quickly. They were quick on pucks. They frustrated Russia. They did a real good job there. And defensively, they've been solid. Only allowed 4 goals against here through the first 3 games.
Practice yesterday, he said they spent some time on the power play.
Yeah, it's one area they want to get better at is the power play and moving things around. They have 1 power play goal in the tournament. It came against Russia, 5-on-3 in a unique setup. Todd Richards went with 3 defensemen, and it ended up working out for him. Torrey Krug scoring the goal from Seth Jones and Justin Falk. And as he said, he looked smart afterwards because of it. They didn't score, maybe not so.
Speaking of coaches, Belarus coach Dave Lewis barked at his team after the first period the other night. They responded. They will need and want a better start tonight.
See what barking can do? I think Todd McClellan did that for Team Canada yesterday. We'll have to get to the bottom of that, but let's talk about Team USA and their ability to track players.
Tracking, back-checking with passion, and that's going to close the gap between the forwards and the defense, and that's going to help you goaltending. They're playing as a unit. They really are. And you can see them working hard all over the ice, turning 2-on-2s into really 2-on-3s. They're taking away any opportunity the other team has, the other opponent. It's time and space, everybody refers to that, and you're insulating a good group of young defensemen anchored by Seth Jones, who's been tremendous in the tournament. Good stuff.
The trackers will have to track the crashers today.
Belarus, they love to crash the net. They're a team that isn't giving up a lot, not getting a lot, but they love to go to the front of the net, whether it's the Kostitsyns or whatnot. And they're going to have to do that against Team USA, who's really been able to insulate both their goaltenders, Hellebuck and Campbell, in this tournament. Belarus, as you see, any team to score goals in this, whether it be a National Hockey League or the World Championships, you got to get to the blue paint, but not in it here because they'll call it back.
Team USA full of young guns, some players that maybe some people haven't really heard of yet, like Steve Moses, who led the KHL in goals this year. Moses suffered a big hit the other day. He did play the next game, but he's not playing today because likely of this. Whoa.
Well, yeah, he lost his lid. He went into the boards, but he gimped off the ice after that game. He played game 3 for Team USA. And there is Moses, who has been so gifted and talented. We saw in his opening game in this tournament score a really gifted backhanded goal over the shoulder of a goaltender. So he's a guy that brings offense and passion to the team. They'll miss him today.
That hit coming against Norway. Then, of course, he did play against Russia. That's a big win for Team USA. This is a huge game in so many ways for so many teams. United States has a chance to get 4-0. Look at the battle for third place. Slovakia, Belarus, and Finland. The Belarusians could move into second place with a win here today. You never know. But over in Group A, here's the other game today. Again, Canada leading the way, and then France needing a win today. So too the Czech Republic. To call this game in Prague, Brian Mudryk and Scott Simpson.
The building is always rocking when the Czechs are playing, and they love Jaromír Jágr. And at 43 years young, earlier in the tournament, he became the oldest guy to score a goal in this championship. He's got 2. And even at his age, he is still a threat, and a big reason why this Czech power play is so dangerous.
You're right, Brian. Jágr leads the #1 power play statistically in the tournament. It'll be rocking in here today, and the Czechs will be looking for a fast start after 2 days off. France have to show more discipline. They have to stay out of the box if they have any chance to win today.
Damien Fleury has 2 goals for France in the tournament. They only have 4 total, and one of those was an empty net goal. They're going to need some offense if they have any chance against the Czechs today.
Thanks to Brian and Sean Simpson. Of course, Sean coaching in Switzerland the last few years and getting ready to send you to the Czech Republic. We'll continue to set this up in a moment.
The 2015 IIHF World Hockey Championship from Prague and Ostrava, Czech Republic is brought to you.
Tenders today brought to you by Chevrolet. Find new roads.
Jack Campbell, 11th overall, pick of the Stars in 2010. He's 6'3", beat the Russians. And Kevin Lalonde, 940 save percentage. He's been really good so far, not giving up anything so far in the tournament. And Pavlik, we know about him and how good he was for the Winnipeg Jets, going against Florian Hardy, who gets a start over Cristobal Huet for France in this one.
2 games going on against the United States and Belarus. Dennis Bayak and Shane Noddy will have that one on TSN 1, 3, and 4. Czech Republic and France, Sean Simpson and Brian Mudryk will have that one for you on TSN 2. Enjoy these ones. We'll see you at the intermission on Day 7 at the World Hockey Championship.
Welcome back to the World Hockey Championship in the O2 Arena. Czech Republic taking on France, and every time Jaromír Jágr and his team is on the ice, this building is absolutely insane. Holds about 17,000 and change, and it looks like a full barn tonight, Sean Simpson. Atmosphere should be incredible.
You know, they love their hockey in the Czech Republic. Very, very important here, especially their national team, and they come out every year to support it. And they'll be looking at, like I said in the pregame, after 2 days off, I expect a very, very fast start from the Czech team with this atmosphere in the building today.
Head coach Vladimir Ruzicka, he goes with Ondrej Pavlik in net. Meantime, for France and Dave Henderson, Florian Hardy gets the start. No Cristobal Huet. Hardy actually beat Russia 2-1 at the Worlds in 2013. His first start at this tournament.
Yeah, a little bit surprising. I think Huet's got a little bit of an injury, but Fleury's a good goal in his own right. Plays for Munich in the German league. Should be interesting to see.
France has never medaled in the tournament. The Czech Republic looking for their first goal since 2010 as we're underway here in Prague at the O2 Arena. France in the white jerseys, Czech Republic in the red. Jan Hejda tries the shot, that's knocked down as Sabatka gives chase, centering pass, and Hejda can't keep it in. Voracek out there with Thomas Hertl. Sabatka also out on that top line. Sabatka takes a bump and chips it in as Hertl gives chase. Voracek also behind the net. And France will clear the zone. The crowd is into it early. That long shot is turned aside. Bouncing puck though in front, and Jaromír Jágr was lurking. Olash will get it down to Jágr. That pass chips up high off the glass and is fired back in. And if you're France, here, Sean, you just got to try and
You're
just the first 5 minutes.
You're just trying to make it through the first 5 and 10 minutes here, not to take a penalty or get an early goal against to let the Czechs have the momentum.
Cervenka will dump it in and give chase. Roman Cervenka. We saw him in the NHL with the Calgary Flames back in 2012-13. Long stretch pass up ahead now as Rowe cuts the net, but Rowe couldn't get a stick on it as he was cutting towards Ondrej Pavelec. Here comes Cervenka now, centering pass in front, that shot is turned aside. Yuri Novotny with an outstanding opportunity early, but Hardy was there.
Outstanding save.
Anthony Boutique will intercept that pass and chips it behind the Czech net. Kokal will get it up to Smolenic. Smolenic now tries a centering pass, that's knocked down. Kokal also out there for the Czechs. Jan Hejda trying to keep it in. Hejda, a goal and 12 helpers in 81 games for Colorado this season. Long stretch pass now as Yuri Novotny winds up and fires, and that's swallowed up by Florian Hardy.
Almost 3 minutes without a whistle. A great start to this game here. Great save by Hardy here on Yuri Novotny here. Radek with a great pass, backhand pass to Novotny. Right in the slot. Great save by Hardy. Good start from the Czechs.
So a face off to the right of Florian Hardy. Top line back out there for the Czechs. Hurdle, Sabatka, Voracek.
I think they have about 3 top lines, don't they?
You could argue though, Sean, this Czech team has 2 or 3 top lines there. Very dominant. We talked about that power play off the top. So far, so good for the French as they're hanging on here in the early moments.
And we talked about the French being the most penalized team. They'll have to stay out of the box and be very disciplined this afternoon.
Sasha Trail will bring it in. He takes a big bump and backhands it in. His brother, Yorick Trail, playing it in the corner. And Jaromir Jagr will come away with it. And listen to the crowd. Every time he touches the puck, to Simon. Drop pass shot, and that's stopped. Good opportunity from Jan Kovar. Teddy DaCosta plays along the boards. No Stefan DaCosta in this hockey game. The other DaCosta played for the Ottawa Senators as France brings it up now. That's Roussel of the Dallas Stars. One of the French stars on this team.
Big loss for France, missing Stefan DaCosta, one of their better forwards.
Antoine Roussel, meantime, of course, plays for the Dallas Stars. 13 goals, 12 helpers this season. Most penalized player in the tournament coming into this hockey game, and that was one of our focal points. Sean, stay out of the box.
This is what France will do. They'll try to tie up the neutral zone or clog up the neutral zone and make the Czechs work for everything they get, work for every entry into the offensive zone.
Cervenka tried the centering pass, but that's broken up nicely, and here comes Bertrand. Tries to shoot it in, it's knocked down. Bertrand plays it off the boards. Back to Manavillon, who fires in an early save for Ondrej Pavelec. Jan Hejda now waits for his forwards to change up, and he'll go change himself. Jordan. That's broken up at center ice by Sasha Trel. Smolenic will dump it in, and giving chase is Kokal. That shot tipped in front, but that'll miss the mark. Kolash able to keep it in. He fires it around the boards. Kolash again at the point. Takes the shot. Goes cross ice. That shot stopped as Hardy saw it and kicks it aside. Lampierre will alleviate some of that pressure as the French team will change up. It's been all Czech so far as Jakub Voracek winds things up. He dumps it in and gives chase. Puck back to the point. Bouncing puck is kept in. Sabatka chips it into the corner for Voracek. Hurdle was going to the net. Voracek tries to dig it out. Back to the point now. Chaslava also at the point. Chaslava fires through traffic and it doesn't get through. Jaromir Jagr, the 43-year-old member of the Triple Gold Clubs, won a Stanley Cup, World Championship, Olympic gold. I think there's more Jagr shirts here than beer, and that's saying something. Damien Fleury, leading goal scorer for France, lays the body there. He's got 2 goals. France just 4 goals the entire tournament so far.
France doing a pretty good job so far here.
Turnover there, Jaromir Jagr now, he fires, and that's knocked down for a second. Hardy didn't see it, bounced in front of it, and he covers up for a whistle. With 12:53 to go here in the first. Welcome back to what looks to be a sold-out building here. World Hockey Championship, the host Czechs taking on France, scoreless, with 12:54 to go in the first. Big stop to the left of Florian Hardy, making his first start here as the Czechs come up with a puck. Novotny in front trying to provide the screen as Erat fired it. Polash will try to play it up. Bouncing puck is swatted down and plays whistle down.
It's a given in today's game that the Czechs are going to have the majority of the puck possession. It's France's job to, like I said before, clog up the neutral zone, make the entries into the offensive zone as difficult as possible for the Czechs, and stay as close to the men as possible. Don't give the Czechs a lot of time and space. Maybe they can, and maybe France can then work off a counter for a chance or a possible goal, but it's for sure the Czechs are going to have the majority of the puck possession.
France able to win the draw. Kokel will pass it back to Chaslava. Chaslava now looks up ice and gets it to Zatovic. Fires it in and Hardy comes out to play it. Czechishvili tries to fire it along the boards. Point shot again. Saw a rebound shot as well. A couple nice saves from Hardy as Smolenik had a good opportunity in close.
Another good save by Hardy. The Czechs looking to find their rhythm after a couple of days off here. They know the importance of this game as they watch the Canadians and Swedes get points during their days off.
Vladimir Sabatka now giving chase. Has hurdled in front of the net. Sabatka battling for the puck. Comes back to the point. Ada makes the shot. Ada will just try to slap past. Voracek was in there, but couldn't get good wood on it. Thomas Hurdle. Fantastic young player from the San Jose Sharks. Battling with Mounier along the boards, and France here desperate to get it out of the zone, but kept in by Sabatka. Sabatka fires, and again, glove is tested as Florian Hardy makes the stop.
It's indicative of the play so far, 7 shots to 1 for the Czech Republic. France are doing a fairly good job so far, limiting the great scoring chances. They've had a couple, and goalie Hardy has come up big a couple of times already, and he'll need to be strong the whole afternoon if France have any type of a chance to win here.
Jaromir Jagr back on the ice as play is whistled down. We'll have to get things reset.
And the situation for France now in the tournament, they got a tough schedule ahead of them. They've lost a couple of tough ones against Germany and Switzerland. They're looking to stay out of that relegation.
That'll be Canada's next game in a couple days. Canada with 2 days off. They'll take on France after their break. Jaromir Jagr now ships it to Simon. And France able to clear. My broadcast partner here, Sean Simpson, was the head coach of the Swiss at the last 5 Worlds. And Sean, if you're coaching France, you'd have to be pretty happy for keeping in it.
Well, the first 10 minutes, so far so good type of thing. Still 50 minutes to go, of course. But
and we talked about penalties. France, the most penalized team coming in, and you know that.
Yeah, they have to stay out of the box. They can't go in the box. The Czech power play is deadly, and they know that. They're playing a very disciplined game, and it's not the first time this French team, they play together quite a bit as a group. Not the first time they've been in a game like this, and they've known to upset some of the big teams. So it's not unheard of that not heard of that they can win today. They beat Canada last year and Russia a few years ago. So it happens in this tournament now. The teams are getting closer and closer. It's not like it used to be. It's not every game 10-0 like it was Canada-Germany. There's a lot of close games in this tournament these years.
You saw in that replay, Antoine Roussel, one of their best players now with Stefan DeCosta not available. They need him on the ice and not in the box. Cervenka now moves it around. Erat fires, but that'll miss the mark. Jordan will keep it in as the play continues in the corner. Yuri Novotny. Chanel pinning him down. Erat now has Cervenka in front, but France will chip it along the boards and down the ice it goes. Play is whistled down with 10:01 to go here in the first.
Spoke about Yuri Novotny, number 12 for the Czechs. I had the pleasure of coaching him in Yaroslavl at the start of the season. Just an excellent professional. Captain of the Czech national team in the past, and just a great guy to coach.
Face off to the left of Florian Hardy, who's made a couple nice stops so far for France. Zatovic giving chase. And that was close to being puck over glass as plays whistled down.
You can see the French game plan. They just want to clear the zone as quick as they can, whether it's flipped out, dumped out. They just want it out of that offensive zone. They know how dangerous the Czechs can be on the cycle. They want it out of their zone as quick as possible and wait for their counter chance or a mistake by the Czechs to capitalize for a goal.
There you see Jakub Voracek tied for the team lead with 4 points so far for the Czechs. And they come up with a puck. Point shot ripped, and that's tipped high and behind the net. Sabatka now back to the point. Kolash fires, and that's deflected high. And out of play for a whistle.
And on the other side, you know, the Czechs, they have to keep playing their own game and keep playing at their own level. You know, the France are trying to disrupt the game here, not trying to play much of an up and down game. So the Czechs, that's their game. They need to keep playing that and not get lulled to sort of sleep by the French tactic here.
Sabatka to take the draw. And Meunier will win that one as the Czechs will continue to battle for the puck. That's Thomas Hertl in the corner with Voracek, but France comes away with it. Meunier tries to accept that long pass, but Hertl breaks that up. Here comes Sabatka. Has Voracek with him. He bumps his man, but loses the puck. And that's chipped off the glass and out of play again for a whistle.
The longer it goes without a goal, the better for the French. As soon as if the Czechs happen to get one here, this building is going to explode. And it'll be a very tough 5 or 10 minutes after the first goal if the Czechs happen to get it here.
The Czechs lost their first one in that crazy game to Sweden in the shootout. They beat Latvia 4-2, and then, of course, lost to Canada 6-3. Talked to Havlik after that game, and he said, it's so great to play at home. It reminds me of Winnipeg. With all the great fans, of course, they lost out being swept by the Ducks, but the atmosphere just the same, and what a hit there at center ice. That was an up and over, and that was Nemec providing the hit. Jágr lurking in, but nothing doing. His play is whistled down as Hardy covers up. What a hit that was.
Old-fashioned hip check. We talked about Jaromir Jágr at the start. Very interesting to see them that when the Czech team came on the ice for the warm-up, the whole team came out to tremendous applause by the fans that were in the building that time. Jaromir Jágr came maybe 20 seconds after the team and got his own huge applause. So it shows how he's a national hero in this country, deservingly so with the career that he's had, and unbelievable to see him playing at his age still at the level that he does.
That was Nemec with the hit, and you can see Roussel wasn't happy with it. Face off it out to the left to Party. Jagr trying to battle for that puck. Drop pass, Simon fires, deflected, and it goes into the corner. Jagr again. Such a big body. Signed another deal as that wraparound is stopped and covered up once again. Some nice stops early here by Florian Hardy, and the intensity picking up on the ice. Jagr, of course, signing a one-year extension with Florida, talking with Team Canada's Aaron Ekblad, who's 19 years old. Jagr could be his dad, for crying out loud. He said that Jaromir Jagr, not only a great guy, one of the hardest working guys that he's ever seen.
No, to play that long, you have to love the game, and he really loves to play hockey. He loves coming to the rink every day. And you saw an example of the Czech strength down low there on the cycle. They're tough to control when they're cycling down low in the corner and behind the net.
Draw one back to the point. Shots knocked down in front. As Marty Erat will dump it behind the net. Travenka. Heda pinching in. So Erat takes a bump. Erat now. Back to the point. That shot misses everything. Goes wide. France able to come away with it. The Czech fans, they whistle not because they're happy. They whistle here in Europe because they wanted a penalty. Novotny now dishing it down low. Zatovic centering pass. That shot again misses the mark. Some great pressure here now from the Czechs as Yuri Novotny picks it up. Back to the point as Heda will dump it back around the net. Zatovic. Czechs get a full change in here. Unbelievable. And they keep the pressure on. That pass just missing the mark as Smolenic was lurking, but it's broken up. 0-0 here in Prague. Welcome back to Prague, Czech Republic. World Hockey Championship scoreless game here at O2 Arena. And a jam-packed house here to watch their home Czechs take on this French team. Petr Kokel to take the draw for the Czech Republic. And France will come away with it. Chekishvili puts it along the boards. That's chipped back in. Puck comes around the boards to Smolenic. Kokel able to keep it in. Down low again for Zatovic. Puck bouncing in front, but can't get through to Hardy. And a long stretch pass was tried for Yorick Trail, but that's broken up and Trail will change up. Here comes Jakub Voracek now. Looking for a streaking Tomish hurdle, but that's broken up. Here comes France in numbers. That shot, Pavlik turns that aside. And now 2-on-2 the other way. Voracek past the hurdle in front, and that doesn't get through. Crowd getting into it here as Vladimir Sobotka will carry it in and dump it down, and Florian Hardy content to stop things for a whistle.
Saw the first sort of double chance, one at each end there. France got the counter off the 1-2-2 check. Quick counter by the Czechs the other way. It was only the second shot against the Czechs in the period here. .6:10 to go here in the first frame. Jaromir Jagr off the draw will chase after the puck. And here comes Damien Fleury now. Pavlik will alertly come out and play the puck away from him as Jagr brings it over. Jagr now tries to cut to the net, back to the point. That shot is tipped. Stick goes flying.
as it was ripped right out of the defender's hand, and Florian Hardy able to cover up. That Teddy DaCosta stick went flying there as he couldn't hang on.
Another quick counter, quick up for Jaromir Jagr, who makes an excellent play across the ice and another excellent chance for the Czechs. The fans getting a little impatient here. They like to see the Czechs get on the board. We talked about the importance of hockey here in this nation. 17,000 in the building, but I'm sure every TV is tuned into this game also all over the country.
Kolash tried to keep it in as the puck is chipped into the neutral zone.
Last time the World Championships were in Prague, it was a disappointing 5th place finish for the home team, so they'll be looking to see if they can grab a medal or even a gold medal here at home.
Plays whistle down due to icing with 5:34 to go here in the first frame. And just listen to this crowd.
The French are doing a great job. You know, a lot of their players, they play out of France. About 14 of them play out of country in Finland, Germany, Switzerland. A lot of experience.
Lokal will lose the draw as play goes into the corner. Nemec back to play, and he'll bank it off the boards. That shot will miss the mark. Nemec will keep it in, fire it back in. And again, the French just content to chip it out.
Keep them on the outside in the offensive zone and chip the puck out. Don't make any risky plays. And here's their setup now as you watch the Czechs break out. 1-2-2 trap in the neutral zone, clogging it up, making it very difficult for the Czechs to come through.
Voracek tries to sneak in. Sabatka will pick it up. Czechs leading the shot battle 10-2 at this point in the frame. Ada fires, and that's off the stick into the corner. Voracek now. Behind the net, Voracek gets tripped up. He goes down. Can't get a shot off, and play continues. Thomas Hurdle now with the puck. Hurdle will dump it off. That shot stopped in front, and again covered up as Florian Hardy has been sharp, and again more shenanigans after the whistle.
Again, the cycle very dangerous. The strength of the Czech players, they're all big with big thighs and big bodies, and when they turn their back on the play, it's very, very tough to control them as a defender. And when they get that cycle rotating once or twice and the D happens to join the play, it's very tough to defend.
Jan Kovar to take the draw for the Czechs. As Simon to his left and Jagr to his right as Jagr battles for that puck. And the French able to get it out. And Damien Fleury, always lurking for France, tries a little dangle move. That's knocked away from Fleury. And a bit of a stumble there. That was a close call. Ekafoil goes down. Jagr now brings it in. Tries the crossing pass for Kovar. Kolash tries to keep it in, and the Czechs will regroup as Nakodal takes a bump. There's a turnover. Fleury now fires and right on the mark, but Andre Pavlik will swallow it up. Damien Fleury, one of the best French players so far in the tournament.
And every one of their 3 shots in the period for France has come off a counter when they've forced the Czechs into a mistake. Here's one of them here. He bobbles the puck. Fleury picks it up and gets a pretty good shot on goal here. Only their 3rd of the period so far.
Czechs able to grab the puck off the draw, and they'll fire it into France's zone. Bertrand breaks the stick, and now the Czechs try to capitalize here as Bertrand's will go to stick, but they'll bank it off the boards, and another whistle with 3:15 to go here in the first.
I mentioned the roster for the French, a lot of them playing out of country. Their domestic league in France is not the best caliber, so all the best players look to go and play in other countries, such as I mentioned, Finland, Switzerland, Germany. Of course, they have 3 or 4 playing in North America, so that's what makes their national team stronger, when their players leave the country and go play in leagues that are better than the French league.
Kokala with Zatovic. Smolnik also out on that line for the Czechs. Smolnik able to keep it in. I don't think Hardy saw that, but he stopped it. Back to the point now. Heda fires, and that stopped. Hardy got a pat on that. Looked like Hardy was maybe caught off guard, but he was just standing there and it hit him. Zatovic battling for the puck. And there's finally a penalty call coming against France as Pavlik goes to the box for the extra attacker. Smolnik behind the net, lets it go to Jordan. Back to the point. That shot tipped in front. It goes high and off the glass. Heda will keep it in. The play is finally whistled down, and the Czechs will go on that very dangerous power play with some more pushing and shoving after the whistle.
Number 50.
That's 55. Jonathan Janil going off for the hook.
First penalty of the game here. We'll get to see the dangerous Czech power play. Just got his stick under the arm there, and maybe a little embellishment from the Czech player, but they're looking to get their first power play, get this game going their direction on the scoreboard.
So Dave Henderson's club will have their first real test here with 2:27 to go in the first. Marty Erat gives chase in the corner. Jaromir Jagr out there as well. Erat puts it out front. Back to the point. Shot. Knocked down in front. Bouncing puck in front of the net. And France able to get it out of the zone. Approaching a 2-minute mark, and now it's Voracek trying to wind things up with that pass off a foot, and the Czechs need to regroup as the crowd gets into it here. Voracek will dump it off and goes to the net as it's played in the corner. It's Erat back to Jagr. Jagr loses it off his stick, and again France able to clear. Again over the blue line. Jordan back to the point. Nakladal. Great chance in front, but Jagr again is turned aside by Hardy. 51 to go now in this power play for the Czechs.
French are doing an excellent job on the penalty kill, just the one shot so far. Again, the same strategy as 5-on-5. No easy entries for the Czechs, making it tough for them across the blue line.
Jermenko plays some pass and brings it over the blue line now. He's got Sabatka with him. Thomas Hertl also out there, and that's kept in. Shot back in.
Well, that puck's got to come out.
Chance in front now. Centering pass in front. That close, but Hertl couldn't get a stick on it and settle it down with 10 seconds to go in the power play.
Can't give second chances to the Czechs like that. That puck's got to be iced, and it almost cost.
So France able to kill off that penalty. Just 24 seconds now to go in the frame. Big moral victory here for the French in the first.
They got to be totally happy with this, getting out of this 0-0.
12 seconds to go, and maybe one final push here for the Czechs. Zatovic centering pass in front, and Hardy's got to be alert once again. Zatovic with the centering pass, but nothing doing as France escapes this first period. Scoreless game. They kill off that penalty. And they're in it here at the World Championship in Prague.
Stop.
Welcome back to Prague, Czech Republic. Scoreless hockey game between the Czechs and France. Another great crowd here. And they're looking really good, Sean Simpson, to break the attendance record. 640,000 in Minsk last year. Here in Ostrava, already 300,000. So the fans, especially every time the Czechs are in the building, they are loud. But right now, maybe a little bit antsy, wanting their team to get something going.
Yeah, the Czechs really have to turn it up a notch here. They have to not get nonchalant into this game here and stay with each other and stay together and keep her going. They got to make a statement here early in the second period.
Pavlik out to play the puck as the Czechs will bring it up ice. That's Voracek. Sending his man in, long shot, and again, Hardy has to be sharp early in this hockey game. Voracek, back to the point. That shot's knocked down, and here comes the Rosier. The Rosier will just chip it into the corner, and France will change up.
On the French side of things,
Fleury now, centering pass in front. That shot is swallowed up by Pavlik. Fleury with a nice pass in front. And that was Heke Foyle coming in. He's got a big-time shot, and we saw it there.
yeah, Laurent Monnier surprised the Czech defenseman on a forecheck here. Got the turnover and a great chance early in the second period for France to take the lead, and that's exactly the way France want to play the game. They didn't forecheck much in the first period, and they really surprised the Czech defenseman. Monnier did on that forecheck. Almost created the first goal of the game.
I apologize. That was Czechish Billy with the shot, number 62. Teddy DaCosta out to take the draw, and Fleury is on it. Damien Fleury. Centering pass in front, and Roussel tried the one-timer, deflects into the corner. Roussel back on the puck. That shot swallowed up by Pavlik, so there'll be a whistle.
Spirited start by the French. I was going to say before they got that chance that they have to stay with their game plan, trying to frustrate the Czech team and wait for their counters. They've already created a couple of shots on goal. They only had 3 in the first period, so now they've had 2 so far in the first minute. So a great start by France. They have to stay disciplined. We can't repeat that enough here.
Rowe taking the draw. He's out with Trail and Bertrand. And they'll have to reset the face-off circle. Cervenka now comes in. Puck comes back to the point. It's shot in as Bertrand tries to give chase. It's kept in along the boards by Rowe. Centering pass, but nobody home. And the Czechs come away with it. Novotny now tries to bring it in. He'll drop it back. That shot deflects and scores. Cervenka looked to get a stick on it in front, and the Czechs are on the board here, up 1-0.
Just after I said French had a good start, this goal will certainly do something for the hockey game and also wake up the building here. Good entry by the Czech Republic and a tip in front by Cervenka, I think it was, on the shot from the point from Nemec. There it is. Yeah, I think he directed into the top shelf there. Hardy had no chance. He already went down in the play. It'll be interesting now to see the reaction for both teams. France can't get frustrated here. They have to stay with their game plan, stay with their discipline. They have to be strong in the next 3 or 4 shifts. The Czechs will get some momentum out of this goal.
We saw them fought Nemec with the goal, but it looked like Roman Cervenka got a stick in front. We'll keep you up to date on how they post it. Regardless, the Czechs are on the board here in the second frame early. So they announced the goal to Andre Nemec. We'll keep you posted if that stands, as France looks to get something going in the corner. Zatovic, long stretch pass. Smolinik just will backhand it in behind the net. Now the fans are getting into it here, looking for more blood. Sabatka behind the net, continues to work. Comes back to the point. And the battle continues in the corner. That's Sabatka with some good work to steal. Czechs now have the puck. Czech tried to get something going back to the point, but the Czech Republic will reset. Mounier is stating his case as Dave Henderson looks on. Now, unless they've changed things since you coached the Swiss team, I think you can still only have 5 skaters out there, Sean.
Oh, I think it was too many men on the ice.
We've seen a lot of that called so far in the tournament, especially just here in.
They're very strict with that rule in the World Championships over the last 2 or 3 years. It's not only this year, it's the last couple of years. They've really been a lot of too many men penalties called in the tournament. Something that the French did not need after that early goal here to defend the power play now.
So Goutti goes to the box for 2, and this Czech power play gets to work again. Czech fires, and that deflects high and comes out of the zone. Centering pass now back to Jágr. Jágr fires, and Hardy able to get a blocker on it. The Czechs failed to score on that power play in the first period as France was able to kill it off, and they'll fire it down the ice again. Nakadal will start things from behind his own net. Cervenka under some duress, so he circles. Cervenka now brings it in, now waits for some teammates as they get set up. They work it around. Nemec now goes back to the point. Čáslav with the pass, and that shot will miss everything. Čáslava also back there on the point. That shot goes through everything and doesn't find the net. Rebound also fired wide. Cervenka gets the puck back to the point. One-time shot. That'll miss the mark. Čáslava will backhand it in. Cervenka back to the point. That shot misses the mark. Krejček let it fly. Another point shot. That's on the mark, but Hardy stopped it.
Great power play set up by the Czechs. The one constant is 12, Novotny in front of the goaltender the whole time. The other four players in rotation, creating chances.
So back to 5-on-5 hockey as France kills off another one. So this high-powered Czech power play coming into the day, the top power play unit in the tournament, now 0 for 2. That shot was deflected and just missed the mark as Simon let it fly. Centering pass in front. That was Simon. Dominic Simon couldn't get a good shot off. And the puck goes out of play, so it'll be whistled down with 14:56 to go in the frame.
You mentioned the power penalty killing from the French, Brian. Well-coached hockey team. Dave Henderson coaches this team. He's coached them for more than 10 years. Native of Montreal, has played and lived in France for many, many years. Really nice guy and a really solid coach. These guys are well-structured. Really tough to play against. They're big and strong and cover the front of their net very, very well.
Nakadal will fire it in, and Kovar gives chase. Jaromír Jágr also out there as the battle continues for the puck. Already Erad in the mix as well. Erad tries to chip it back to the blue line, but France comes away with it. Now Perrier tries to get one through, but nothing doing there. Novotny spins, waits for help. That shot is stopped by Hardy. Jaromír Jágr now. He'll drop it off. Nemec puts on the brakes. Nemec now for behind the net. Centering pass. That shot is swallowed up once again by Florian Hardy. for his first start in the tournament, he's been sharp.
It's amazing what a goal does for a hockey game, especially to a team. The Czech Republic team has woken up big time here after they scored the goal 2 minutes into the period here. They got their entries established, they got their cycle established, and they're creating quite a few chances. France is going to have to keep defending well and keep chipping the puck out, keep waiting for their chances if they want to stay in this game.
That was Kovar you saw in the replay going into the boards hard, but he's okay. Janil will play it back to Daoud Fauvel, but now a turnover. Here comes the Czechs. Shot. That'll go off the bar. What an opportunity. Chervenka rattles the iron. Andre Nemec will go back to touch up, and icing is called.
Another turnover by the French right here. They cannot do that right at the blue line here. Chervenka gets a great shot, great wrist shot, crossbar. Hardy was beaten fully by the shot, but the France, they can't turn pucks over. That's what they did so well in the first period. They got pucks out of the zone and didn't get many counters against them. They can't start doing that. They're going to be under pressure the whole night.
Vladimir Sabatka, you know him back in the NHL. He played for the Bruins a few years back, and he's out there on the top line. Voracek plays it back to the point, and it's dumped back in. Thomas Hertl fires it back in. Wraparound try. Hardy's there, though. Sabatka didn't get a good shot off, and the pad was down. Again, that shot, and again, back of the net. Vladimir Sabatka winds up 2-0. Czech Republic might have been deflected in front, but the crowd goes nuts.
Goal all started, but from that turnover, they had the face-off in their own end and never got out of the zone. This is the high slot man here. Sabanka here uses the high slot position. Plenty of ice up top there. He's the forward. He's up high like a defenseman. He gets the puck through with pressure from Hertl in front of the goal. And Czech are up 2-0. This is what France did not need. And that turnover earlier that we spoke about created this goal because they never got out of their own end after the offensive zone faceoff. Great play by Sabanka, playing the high slot. Lots of room up there.
So Vladimir Sabatka makes it 2-0. Played 48 games for the Boston Bruins back in 2007, 2008. And he's ignited this crowd as the Czechs now look for more. Simone's out there with Jágr, who puts on the brakes. Jágr circling in the corner. Jaromír Jágr, 2 goals in the tournament. He'd love another one. Obi-2 chips it open, not for long as the Czechs come back again. Jágr will dish it off. Nakladel chips it around the net. Kovar's out there. He was battling for the puck and continues that battle. Kovar comes away with it, tries to chip it to Jágr. Finally, France able to collect that puck and move it the other way. Obi-2 with a weak little dump in, but France able to change up. Nakladel behind his own net. Long bouncing puck comes into the corner. Smolinic giving chase. That battle continues, and it's Colero coming away with it. Tries to stretch pass up ahead. Perrier tried that centering pass, but nobody there. Perrier behind the net now. Centering pass in front with a point. That shot scores! And France is back on the board. Kevin Heke-Foyle makes it a 1-goal hockey game.
Heke-Foyle with the goal. plays his club hockey in Switzerland. Great counter here. France were having all sorts of problems coming out of their own end. Finally, they got a rush together. And the Czechs got watching the puck here. Everybody watching the puck. And Egerfoyle came in from behind. Got the pass from behind the net. All the Czechs are watching the puck on this play. Snuck in behind into the slot and scored to put France right back into the game here. Great counter, great pressure in front of the goal, and a nice shot.
So France just their 5th goal overall in the tournament, and it's a big one here in Prague as they draw within one of the Czechs. So 11:14 here to go in the second frame.
Big boost for the French team here. They were down 2-0 and under all sorts of pressure, and then suddenly they counter down and make it 2-1. So let's see what they can do with it now.
Novotny now behind the net for the Czechs. He takes a bit of a bump. Novotny back to the point. Nemec fires. Rebound and found on by Erat. Another shot, and that's chipped into the corner. Novotny now trying to spin away from his man. He'll chip it to Erat. Erat spins and fires. Novotny in close. He fires and that stops. Czechs working around now. Back to the point. Hejda takes the shot and then will slap it in. Erat's behind there. French trying to chip it along the boards and get it out. And they cannot. It's fired back in, and the Czechs will change up. Crowd getting into it as France nearly had a chance, but Teddy DaCosta was turned aside and will fire it back in as Pavlik comes out to play it. That's shipped high and out of play for a whistle. Czechs are up 2-1 with 9:49 to go in the second. Welcome back to a very excited crowd here at the O2 Arena. We have the wave going on. The Czechs hanging on to a 2-1 lead. Kevin Hecke-Foyle finally getting France on the board to pull them within one. They're having a good time or what, doesn't matter what time of day it is either. Fans are getting into it. That shot is knocked down as Obi-2 let it fly, but couldn't get it through. Obi-2 fires again, and Pavlik saw it late, but stopped it. Now it looks like there's a penalty coming.
Thanks, Sabanka.
Here comes the Czechs.
Oh.
Pavlik out of the net, centering pass, knocked down, rebound tries also blocked, and finally the French will touch it up, and the Czechs will be going back on the power play. That's a tough one, too.
That's a tough one way down the offensive zone. Right there, number 80, DaCosta.
It's going to cost you. It's 2 minutes or less. So Teddy DaCosta will go to the box. He's the older brother to Stefan DaCosta, who's not playing in this hockey game. Obviously not feeling 100% as the wave continues, and here comes the power play. Number 68 is out there on the ice, Jaromír Jágr, as the Czechs win the draw. Voracek down low. Jágr gets taken down. And France able to get it out of the zone as the Czechs will have to check up as Jágr comes out. And play is whistled down with 9:05 here to go in the second. 1:41 to go in the power play as the Czechs are offside.
We made a big deal about the Czech power play at the start of the show, but they haven't showed much yet here in the first two. So they'll be looking for something more. But for sure, on the French side of things, they've looked at those tapes of the power play, and they're playing a very solid penalty kill, very solid in their own end. And on the forecheck, entries aren't easy, and they block a lot of shots.
So let's see if the Czechs can get something started here with the man advantage. Kovar accepts the pass, and he'll dish it off to Erat. Nakdal couldn't handle that. He's got to reset. Jaromír Jágr brings it over the blue line. Jágr with 2 power play goals in the tournament so far. And France able to clear. And Trail.
A couple more examples of the penalty kill there. They may not be as dangerous offensively as the Czechs, but they're solid fundamentally defensively. Good body position and great stick work by the penalty killers from France.
Nakladal will keep it in. He goes cross ice to Trey Chick, who dumps it in down low. Yager tried a little centering pass and some good hustle there as Trey Chick keeps it in. Back to the point. Nemec tries a long stretch pass, but Kovar couldn't get it. He collects it, fires, and looks like Hardy got a piece of it. 10 seconds to go in this power play. Now's the time. Great one-timer opportunity. Well, that's turned aside. Jan Kovar was close. And time will wind down as the French kill off yet another power play. Their 3rd successful kill in this hockey game. Trail will club it down and bring it up ice. Trail tries to shot. Pavlik steers that behind the net harmlessly. And a Czech player is down and hurt behind the net as play continues. Shot stopped by Pavlik, can't find it. And the Czechs will clear. And you look behind the net, that's Andrej Nemec is down. His teammates checking on him. We'll update that right after the break. Welcome back to Prague, and there is Andrej Nemec. Appears to be okay. It was Sasha Trail who took him into the boards. He just got twisted awkwardly. We got to see the replay in the break, but he appears to be okay, Sean.
Yeah, the Czech power play, 4 shots in their 3 power plays. I think everybody expected a little bit more from their power play, but the penalty kill, outstanding from France.
And here comes the Czechs once again. Backhand try goes high and misses the mark as Roman Chervenko was trying to find the back of the net. Erat trying to battle for that puck behind the net. He'll fire it back. Back to the point. Chervenka will pass it off. That shot is going to miss the mark. Erat slashing at it, trying to keep it in. And France able to chip it out of the zone. Bertrand trying to chip it into the Czech zone, and they'll come away with it. And the crowd is coming alive here in the arena. Unbelievable as Hurdle fires, and that's stopped. Tomáš Hurdle continues the battle for the puck. And Čechishvili. Puck comes around the boards. And France able to clear. And Sean, I'll tell you what, I've never seen anything like this. It's unbelievable. My first World Championship, and this crowd is just electric.
That's a little different in Europe than it is in North America with the crowds. More like a soccer atmosphere at times.
Voracek tried the pass, but that's knocked down. Trail swiped at it and missed it. Sabaka will chip it in. Sabaka winds up and fires, and that's blocked. Nice centering pass, but that's going to be chipped out of harm's way. Antoine Manavillon with a defensive play there.
France spending a lot of time in their own end. They got the long bench to change to. It's tough for their D to get off the ice.
Jaromír Jágr was lurking, tried to cut in, but that deflects high and off the glass. Kovar out with him. Kovar tries to spin, centering pass in front. Opportunity there in front for Simon, but Florian Hardy covers up, and again, some frustrations after the whistle.
As we talked about before, France cannot afford to get into these skirmishes. They should just, after the whistle goes, they should just get ready for the next start of play because they can't afford to go in the box anymore. They're forcing 3 of their defensemen. They had over 7 minutes of ice time in the first period, and like I said, it's a long way to their bench, and they still got 4.5 minutes to get through here. If they get out of this period 2-1 or better, it's a great opportunity for them going into the final 20.
And there's just a nice little adjustment. How does that feel? Andre Nemec after going into the boards. Trying to work it out a little bit. We'll keep an eye out for him to see how much ice time he has going forward.
And the crowd, again, just a tremendous atmosphere here.
Nemec appears to be okay, and that ruckus in front of the net, in front of Hardy. 43-year-old Jaromir Jagr was in the middle of it as well, along with Simone, who had that late chance, and now you see
he even gets a cheer when he goes to the box.
That's Antoine Roussel is in the box, and Jagr's there as well. There you see Jaromir Jagr in the middle of things. Roussel's been the most penalized player so far in the tournament. He doesn't shy away from anything. And I guess if you're going to take one guy off with you, Jaromir Jagr's not a bad choice.
Our first look at 4-on-4 hockey today. With their speed and technique, you would give the advantage to the Czechs, but the French are well organized in every area.
Back to the point, that's will get fired in as Nakladal will fire it behind the net. Chance there is the wraparound try, but again, Hardy was able to make the stop as Martin Zakovic was lurking. 29-10, Czechs leading in the shot department, and once again, have to give Fleury and Hardy a lot of credit. We thought maybe Cristobal Huet would get the start. Hardy's been strong.
Hardy's been great. He's square to the puck every time he goes down, but he's big, and Czechs are trying to go upstairs on him, but there's nothing there.
Puck comes back to the point. That shot is tipped a few times and will miss the mark as Jan Heda loaded up. Hurdle. Novotny will spin away from his man. Back to the point. Shot tipped out of harm's way. It goes up high and out of play for a whistle with 3:47 here to go in the second.
And the Czechs are putting shifts together. And you want to get momentum in a game, you got to have 3 or 4 lines go out there right after each other and put the other team under pressure, and that's what they're doing here. Very difficult for the French to get out of their own end. Czech coach Rosie Ruzicka, the Canadian NHL fans will remember his days in the NHL, especially with Boston, 39 goals one year. I had the pleasure to coach him in Zug, actually. I don't want to make myself sound too old, but actually coach Rosie Ruzicka, World Championship coach for the Czech Republic.
And me being the Alberta boy, I remember him starting off with the Edmonton Oilers a long time ago. As France tries to get some sustained pressure here for a change.
Also played in Ottawa, I think, a little bit.
Sasha Trail with an opportunity.
Unique individual. I remember my first World Championships in Mannheim. We stayed in the same hotel as the Czech Republic, and they were all down on themselves 1-3 after 4 games, and we kept telling them, hey, you guys got a good team, you guys got a good team, and they didn't believe it, but they ended up winning the World Championships at the end. They rallied off about 4 or 5 in a row and won the championship in Cologne that year.
Sabatka will dump it off for Voracek. Sabatka picks it up in the corner. Sabatka behind the net. He'll set up shot. Voracek in front tries to deflect it, but he was tied up. Nowhere to go. 25 seconds left of 4-on-4 hockey as it's dropped off. Fleury will fire, and that's turned aside. Damien Fleury looking for his 3rd goal of the tournament. Nakladal will dump it off to Cervenka. Cross-ice pass. That's fired and stopped again. Knocked down in front. Simone centering pass, and that's fanned on as Cervenka couldn't get good wood on it. Back to 5-on-5 hockey. And play is whistled down. 2:29 to go here in the second, and French are keeping in it.
Hanging in there. A great chance by Fleury there that almost tied the game after they've been dominated for the last who knows how many minutes, but a quick counter the other way by the Czechs. That's the thing against the Czechs. If you go hard against them and throw your D up into play and it doesn't work, the Czechs are coming back real strong the other way, and that's exactly what happened in that situation.
Yeah, I've been here for a while, Sean. I'm going to have to try my first beer in Prague. It looks like the fans are into it. I hear the beer's good around here.
Well, I think it is. Lots of good Czech beer, and there's been a lot drank already here this afternoon, that's for sure.
Not by you, I hope.
No.
2:14 to go here in the second. Stretch pass try. And that's broken up neatly, and penalty is drawn, though. And the fans approve. I'm not sure who's going off, though. At first, I thought it was against the French, but it might be Zatovic going off. And it is.
He had the initial hook.
Right there. And that's what I thought was the penalty call.
There was a penalty afterwards, but the first one was already called. First power play of the afternoon for France. Big opportunity for them. If they can score here with 2 minutes left in the second, boy, 2-2, something that the Czech team did really not expect.
Czech still able to clear it early, and Florian Hardy has to make a play on it. And he'll leave it as Eke Foyle, the goal scorer for France, will start things up behind his own net. Roussel giving chase into the corner. Roussel behind the net, he takes a big bump. And Roussel goes down.
Not sure. He doesn't understand either why the whistle was blown. Dave Henderson on the French bench. And doesn't... He's smiling, but he doesn't agree.
No translation needed for that grin as the faceoff comes to the right of Pavlik. Roussel pinching into his man, but the Czechs come away with it. Little 2-on-2.
Great aggressive penalty killing by the Czech Republic.
Novotny okay to just chip it into the corner and gives chase. He'll change off as...
No time for France to get their power play set up. A great work by the Czech Republic.
Popel was pinching in there, and he will change off as well, and here comes the French.
And France in this situation would miss a Stefan Da Costa on the ice. He would be their power play leader on the ice right now.
Avitu tries to keep it in, but he can't, and Damien Fleury will skate back as the Czechs change up. 49 seconds to go in the period, and 44 to go in the power play. Back to the point, Trail will send it across. Eke Foyle was waving his stick, wanting that pass as they continue to work it around. Back down low, 24 seconds to go in the frame. Point shot, and that's blocked nicely as Yuri Novotny got low and blocked it. Bouncing puck kept in, finally the Czechs able to clear, and that should do it for the period and for the power play. As time winds down here in the second frame, entertaining hockey game. Czechs with a 2-1 advantage over France. The Czechs really needing 3 points in regulation. Welcome back to Prague, Czech Republic, and that man has certainly been a story. Florian Hardy has been very solid for the French. The Czechs winning the shot battle through 40 minutes, 32-12. The goal scorers so far, Nemec, Sabatka, Eke Foyle answered for France. So for Vladimir Zichka and, of course, Dave Henderson, You can suggest two different things. The Czechs would like to blow this thing out of water in the third. In the meantime, Henderson just wants to keep it close and try to find a way to tie things up and get some crucial points.
You have to know, you have to think that France are exactly where they want to be right now. They have a chance after 40 minutes to get something out of this game. You know, 2-1, anything can happen in 20 minutes. They just have to play disciplined, stick to their system, wait for their chance, and who knows, maybe they can get something out of the game. On the other side of the coin, the Czech Republic, boy, 2-1 after 40 minutes in front of a packed house at home here in Prague. They have to pay attention here because it's a 2-1, anything, a little bounce here and there. So they have to be ready, and I'm sure Rosie Rosicka didn't hope or didn't expect for this game to be 2-1 after 40. So it should be a very interesting and entertaining last 20 minutes here.
Sean, you coached the Swiss team the last 5 Worlds and were involved in lots of games like this. What would your message be to France into the third?
Well, you got to believe exactly where you want to be. Like I just said, when you play the top teams, Czech, Sweden, Canada, that are in this group, you want to try to get something out of the game if you can. And that would be a huge accomplishment for France to do that this afternoon in their battle to stay out of the relegation there.
Top line is out for the Czechs to start things off as France will dump it in and give chase. Long shot. Pavlik saw it, and he gloves down for a whistle.
In 2013, in Switzerland, when we were able to win the silver medal, our opening games were Sweden, Canada, Czech Republic, and we were able to win all 3 games, which is a huge surprise, obviously, but got us on the right path and got the snowball rolling, you can say, towards our medal win.
France will wing the draw, and they'll fire it into the corner. Roussel, centering pass to Fleury. Fleury tries to squeak it through. He'll give chase into the corner. Centering pass in front, nobody there. Fleury spins and fires, and Pavlik was there. Czechs get it going. Here comes Jaromír Jágr with some room. Jágr tries the backhand right through the pads, but not in the net. Unbelievable sequence. Hardy squeezed the pads, and it went right through them, but didn't go in. The top would have blown off the roof of this building if that would have trickled in. What a sequence that was. Sasha Trail tries to chip the puck into the corner. Rowe battling in there with Cervenka. Čechishvili tries to pinch in and gets it into the corner. Trail will dump it off as the French try to get the cycle going here. Bertrand fires it around. Trail leaves it, backhand by Čechishvili, steered aside, puck in front, can't find it. Mad scramble, no whistle yet. Pavlik's down, Czechs all over, another chance at the side of the net. That was Rowe with an opportunity, but he couldn't get it to go. And the Czechs finally just clear the pressure off by firing it down for an icing. What a sequence.
Fantastic start by the French. They started the same way in the second period, with a little bit more forechecking, but they got the counter chance against them. The Czechs scored the 1-0, but this was a flurry of chances in front of Pavlik here. More offensive time they've had in that first few minutes of the third period than it had the whole night. That was the chance by Jágr, just trickled through and out the other side. The rest of the first 2 minutes belonged to the French team. They can smell something here, and the Czechs better, like I said at the start of the period, pay attention here, and I think Rosie Rosicka feels that right now, calling a timeout. And he will go over, I'm sure, his defensive zone coverage here. A little bit too much room for the French. Here's the chance by Jágr again, a quick counter. Spins like we're so used to seeing, staying on the puck, so strong on the puck, even at 42 years of age. Just caught the edge of his pad and went out the other side. He looks actually more fit than I've seen him in a few years. He looks lighter than he has since I saw him live last anyways.
Of course, Jágr coming out of international retirement to play at home.
And by the crowd reaction, very much appreciated.
No kidding. As I made the reference earlier, long shot is stopped by Pavlik, and a French player is down. Looks like he took a stick in the face behind the play. That's number 18, Johan Ovitu.
And that would be a huge loss if he's out, because he has the most minutes after 2 periods for the French. Here there's a puck in the face. Hopefully he can come back from the French perspective.
I still try to shake that off just to finish your point, Sean. You walk outside the beer gardens here in the building, and it just reminds me of back home. A way to describe it is like the Briar and curling, the Briar patch, and the fans getting into it. But it's such a party atmosphere. Literally, for every beer you see, there's a Yager jersey with a fan wearing it. It's unreal here as he's going to go get some repairs. And as you mentioned, that's a big blow for France.
He's a Yager. Jaromir Jagr's the, when I say in German, the Bürgermeister of not only Prague, but the Czech Republic totally. And they just think it's fantastic that he's playing for their team.
I did post-game after the Czech-Canada game, and we couldn't get Yager. He didn't talk to the media, and then about an hour later, I'm having lunch by the hotel, or dinner, I guess. And who walks into the restaurant? Jaromir Jagr. Blows by everybody, and the fans are in shock, as were we. At least I knew I was at a good restaurant. Here comes the Czechs trying to get something going. The fans are into it. Puck will come all the way back as Jan Hede will go collect it and fire it along the boards. Sabatka will chip it up. Swalenik fires. It's deflected into the corner. Eke Foyle, the goal scorer, will play it up. Acosta was going to the net. Didn't get the pass though. Roussel will dump it down to Teddy DaCosta. Sabatka will play the puck around his own net. Thomas Hertl tried to whack at it, but Janil will take it from him. Fleury chips it back into the corner. Chekishvili will settle it down and fire it cross ice.
What I say about puck possession in the first period, the France have had the puck the whole first 4 minutes of this third period.
Chaslava goes back to touch up and plays whistle down. 15:56 here to go in the third. Icing the call, so faceoff will come down at the other end.
I would have expected maybe a little bit more forechecking and offensive and a little bit more energy maybe from the Czech team here. 2-1 is fairly close here. They need to get the third and fourth on the board to make sure of this victory here. Everything's open right now, and the French can smell that, like I said before.
Jaromir Jagr back on the ice. Simon behind the net, centering pass in front, and Kovar couldn't get a good shot off. Jagr now chips it into the corner. Dominic Simon fighting, as is Jagr in the corner. Simon centering pass in front, shot, stop, rebound, and they score! Jaromir Jagr scores for the Czech Republic.
That's what everybody in the building came to see. The French had trouble getting the puck out of their own end, and again, the cycle strength of the Czechs. And there's that high slot guy again, being free and open and getting pucks to the net. Jagr will beat the French defenseman to the net right here and pick up the rebound with his strength. And boy, the roof came off this place when that puck went in the net. But the high slot guy, that's been 2 goals now. The centerman or the high forward just sneaks out a little bit higher in the slot. There's lots of room on the big ice here. The first goal by Sabatka was almost exactly the same way.
Claro tries to come in and fire one, but that goes into the corner. He'll give chase. Jaromir Jagr, an absolute legend in his home country. Makes it a 3-1 hockey game for the Czechs. He now has 3 goals in the tournament. And the oldest guy to ever score a goal in this championship, just keeps putting up the numbers.
Right on cue for us. We were just talking about him. There it is again. He beats the French defenseman and taps in the rebound. Huge goal for the Czechs here, 3-1.
That's a big body, and Janil just couldn't handle him.
And the reaction by the players on the Czech bench, you can see that he's so well respected, and by these players, some of them maybe half his age.
Here comes the Czechs again. Smolenic goes into the corner as he gets taken out. Listen to the fans. Unbelievable. Makes you want to bring everyone back home in Canada and just put them in this building even for 5 minutes to get that experience. It's unreal as that floating puck was batted aside by Hardy. Cal battling in the corner for the puck. He's with Hurdle. Hurdle dangling it. Hurdle now spins and fires and just misses. Thomas Hurdle with a great chance. Sabatka tries to keep it in. Again, Damien Fleury was looking for the breakaway, and he just missed taking off. Fleury now will fire and saved by Andrei Pavlik as he covers things up, as the Czechs have a 3-1 advantage here in Prague. Welcome back to O2 Arena. Sean Simpson, Brian Mudryk with you. And what an atmosphere here. The crowd is into it. Jaromir Jagr, at 43 years young, has made it a 3-1 hockey game, his third goal of the tournament. The crowd's into it, and maybe the Czechs with a little bit of breathing room now. They got to win this thing in 60 minutes. Jagger's back on the ice as the puck comes bouncing in the neutral zone. Jagr now takes his man as there's a turnover in the French zone, and the fans got the wave going now here in Prague. Simon giving chase. He goes back to the points. Jaslava fired it back in, centering pass, and that's broken up. Jagr deflects the puck. Jaromir Jagr. One-time shot deflects off the stick and high, and out of play for a whistle.
Ryan, you mentioned the Worlds being a great thing. I'm just a big fan of this tournament. I just love coming here every year. There's a look at the Jagr goal again that's got the crowd so excited here. But it's a great place to be in these big cities in Europe. If you're a Canadian hockey fan or looking for a trip to Europe and to follow hockey, this is the place you got to come to. I recommend it highly. A group of guys or couples looking to go away, take in a World Championship one year. You'll never forget it.
13:07 here to go in the hockey game. Erat behind the net. Erat battling for the puck. Nakladal pinching in as well. Kolash fires it around the boards.
Great puck pressure now by the Czechs. They're not giving the French any time to get anything going out of their own end. Earlier in the game, they were backing up more in the neutral zone. Now they got the 2-goal lead. They're feeling a little bit more confident, a little more lightness maybe in their legs right now, and forechecking and keeping the pressure on the French here.
Kokal was battling for the puck, but he'll lose the battle as the French bring it up ice as Manavion will chip it into the corner. Then Manavion will take out his man. He's had the most ice time for the French in this hockey game. Maybe the only beard that will rival Brent Burns as well that I've seen so far. Zatovic fires it in. Smolenic giving chase. Kept in as Sabatka fires it off the glass, and it kicks into the corner. Eke Foyle now, the goal scorer for France, starting behind his own net, gives it to Trail, who has to circle. Voracek was on him. Great forecheck and That Czech top line is out there. Another chance now. Hurdle coming in. Hurdle right through the legs. And it's stopped. Centering pass and they score. The Czechs are running away with it now. Andre Nemec had the back adjusted and he scores a goal.
Nemec shaken up in the second period here. This is just a product of the pressure that Czech put on the French team for about a minute and a half there, it seemed, in the French zone. Big forechecking, big push by the Czech team. Turnover in the neutral zone. Hurdle, what a young talent he is. Creating the play, getting the first great chance himself, and then getting it to Nemec for the 4-1 lead.
Just joining us, Nemec was taken hard into the boards earlier, actually had the trainer wrap his arms around his back and gave him the old adjustment on the fly. He shook it off now. As 2 goals in his hockey game, and it could be checkmate now for the French with a 4-1 advantage here in Prague. Another chance. Kolash makes the shot, passes it over. Kolash continues, carries it in now. Wanting Jagr behind the net. Simon picks it up. He'll dump it off. Nakladal fires it around as they continue to cycle. Little flip pass in front, and that shot by Kovar doesn't find the mark. Czechs now just relentless pressure in this hockey game. Bouncing puck in front. Jagr's lurking. Played along up to Fleury as Hayda pinches in. Jagr in the mix as well. Jagr takes the pass. Jagr out front. Simon fires and he'll miss the mark. Nakladal in the corner. Nearing the halfway mark of this third period, and the Czechs have been dominating play.
The French can finally make a change.
Sasha Trail will just dump it in. He gives chase and then takes a bump. Damien Rowe goes after it. Back to the point. That shot fanned on it. Earham was looking for the home run pass, and Hardy comes out of the net. Gets it to go along the boards. Here comes France. Little 2-on-2 as Anaveon tries to fire. It's deflected, though, into the meshing and out of play for a whistle.
The summary of the first 10 minutes of the third period. Don't forget, 2-1 going into the period. France have a really good start. They had lots of puck possession, a couple of shots, a couple of good chances. But it's Jaromir Jagr who makes the game 3-1 for the Czech Republic. And since that goal, the Czechs are playing with way more confidence. Before when it was 2-1 or before that, they were setting up in the neutral zone, giving the French defensemen lots of time to come out of their zone. As soon as it was 3-1, full pressure, full forecheck, and France couldn't get out of their zone. 4-1 now.
And right off the draw, here comes Coquel. Coquel fires. That's stopped. Rebound in front, though. Puck was trickling in the crease, but it's fired into the corner. Kraslava back to collect it for the Czechs. Coquel sends it back to him. Clairot tried to win that puck battle, but the Czechs come away with it. Satovic fires deflected and it misses the mark. Puck bounces out into the neutral zone. Kolash plays it over to his partners. Team France will change up.
You have to compliment the French effort here today. Their game plan is really solid, but the depth and the talent of the Czech team starting to show through here now.
By the way, over in Ostrava, the United States trailing to Belarus 5-2 in Group B play. Belarus with a chance to be the top team in that group if they can win in 60 minutes, which is unbelievable.
Well, this shows what we've talked about before, that the gap is closed in international hockey. It's not easy for the Czechs today here against France, or U.S. against Belarus. It's not easy for the top teams. The Canadians, what have they missed? We've missed 5, or got beat out 5 quarterfinals in a row. So it's getting closer.
Shot from the point deflected, but Hardy was able to stop that. Down low, centering pass in front. Another chance at Hardy. Able to close the door. Thomas Hertl shuts down in front. A couple of great chances.
That's a great line they got there. Hertl's just a tremendous young player, like I mentioned before. But getting back to that subject, there's no easy games anymore. You might see the odd 10-0 once every couple of years, like Canada against Germany. But the rest of the games are hard fought. Teams like Norway, Latvia, Belarus, France, Switzerland, they're all better than they used to be. The top teams, Canada, Switzerland, or Canada, Sweden, Czech, Russia, they're all still very, very good. But the other teams have closed the gap a little bit, making the World Tournament even more exciting every year.
Eke Foyle will win the battle. Keep in mind, Canada, speaking of tough games, they were down 3-0 to Sweden in their contest, battled back to win it. Canada was in danger in the crossover. Top 4, of course, in the group, make the quarters of crossing over and having to play in Ostrava. Now looking very good to obviously finish things up and try to go deep in the medal round here in Prague. .733 here to go in the third. The Czechs now with a 4-1 advantage over France. Eke Foyle may have gotten away with one there. Or not, as the official has his hand up, so the Czechs will go on the power play. Out goes Pavlik, extra attacker out. Erat circling, looking for help. Ada just keeps it in. That may have been offside, but not called. Novotny now, back to the point. Erat. Plays pass back to Heda. Krejcik also out there at the point. The play finally whistled down. And the Czechs get a chance at the power play when we come back. Welcome back to Prague, Czech Republic. We thought Kevin Eke Foyle got away with one, but he didn't. Czechs are going to go in the power play with 6:39 to go in the hockey game. 0 for 3 in the power play so far, and that was our big talking point off the top, was they were the #1 power play unit in the tournament coming into this game.
So much talent they can send on the ice with both units.
Puck comes back to the points. Akladal moves it down, cross-ice pass in front, and Jágr couldn't get a stick on it in front. Kovar, the man who drew the penalty, works it down low to Jágr. Erat lurking in front. Jágr gets it moving along the boards. Back to the point now. Kovar. Kovar tries the shot, and it's kicked away as Jágr keeps the puck moving. Kovar goes back to the point. Akladal keeps it moving. Voracek out there now. Him and Jágr digging in the corner. And France able to come up the other way. Nice little circling move there from Mounier to kill off some more time as he dumps it off to Janil. Janil was the man that Jágr beat to score that goal that kind of turned things around. Pavlik keeps the puck moving with 53 seconds to go in this power play.
Czechs a little bit on cruise control now with a 4-1 lead.
Cervenka leaves it back at the point. That shot stopped in front. Rebound try, and they score! Roman Cervenka makes it a 5-1 hockey game as they strike on the power play.
make it look easy on the breakout here. Easy entry, unlike the French, and they get overplayed on the defenseman here, gives the lane to the net. Of course, the pressure in front of the net, and Cervenka just throws it right up top. They've been looking for that top shelf all night, and they finally got it here. But the Czechs are playing very relaxed now with the lead, and they're dangerous. They're talented.
Roman Cervenka played in the KHL this year. Of course, a lot of hockey fans back home remember him for the Calgary Flames.
He won the championship with St. Petersburg, playing with Kovalchuk on the same team. They had a fantastic team, and coached by Andrei Bykov, the former Russian national team player.
So the crowd a little bit happier, breathing a little bit easier with a 5-1 lead here with time ticking down in the third period. It'll be 3 points on the board for the Czechs in Group A. That shot is turned aside as Pavlik kind of gets knocked down by his own man. That shot sails wide as Heke Foyle, who served that penalty and is the only goal scorer, just missed. That try hits a few legs in front, and France can't get a good opportunity there. Manavion will fire it into the corner as the crowd gets on their feet. Erat dangles in, dumps it off to Cervenka. Tries to get it back to Erat. Nakladal will chip it in. Sasha Trail will dump it in as France gives chase. It comes around the boards and out of the Czech zone. Trail wind up and just rips it around the boards. Mounier giving chase, tries to chip it in. Long shot is knocked down in front and nothing doing there. And here comes the Czechs back the other way. Sabatka going to the net. The pass off the skate. And the save made there by Hardy. Hurdle out there on the forecheck with 2:53 to go in the hockey game. Antoine Roussel back on the ice. The Dallas Star tries to get some offense going. Teddy DaCosta loses the battle for the puck in the corner, and the Czechs bring it out. Simone. Smolinik with him. Smolinik now. Little pass over the shot. Oh, what a chance, but Simone couldn't tip it in. He was looking for the tip at the side of the net. Long stretch pass was tried for Smolinik. Puck is dumped into the corner as Bertrand gives chase and a bounce. And Andrei Pavlik hasn't been overly busy, but solid when necessary, covers up for a whistle.
Fairly entertaining game this afternoon. Looks like a win for the Czechs here late in the third period. Czechs will have to keep the momentum going here if they want to finish as high as they can in their group here. They play tomorrow against Austria. France are going to have to go back and regroup. They got a tough schedule starting with Canada on Saturday, followed by Sweden and Latvia. So they're going to have to get some points along the road somewhere.
Long shot is knocked down. They just announced the attendance for the hockey game. 17,111 fans, and all of them will be going home happy. Well, most of them. I see the odd French jersey here and there. Long shot is steered aside by Pavlik as Obi2 let it fly. Perreault goes behind the net. Perrier tries, and that's stopped. Bouncing puck. Another shot, and that's knocked down as Perrier had a couple opportunities. Perrier, the French Rookie of the Year in 2011. The Czechs will change up with 1 minute to go here in this hockey game. Centering pass, but that's steered aside as Trael tried to find a man in front. Here comes Voracek. He'll lose the puck, and the French will bring it up. And play is whistled down offside. So a face-off outside of the zone with 44 seconds to go, and the fans showing their approval.
Yeah, like I said before, the depth and the quality has just shone through at the end here. Tight going in the last period, 2-1, but the Czechs have just pulled away here in the third for earned victory this afternoon here. They'll move on to face Austria tomorrow.
I'm assuming your favorite moment at Worlds was that silver medal coaching the Swiss?
Yes, for sure. We had a few ups and downs. It can go. The difference in the tournament is very small. For a team like Switzerland, you can be as 11th really quickly, or if you get lucky and get things rolling, you might be able to get into the top 8. But to get up into second that year was a fantastic achievement.
One final push here for the Czechs, dangling in. That shot is turned aside. Is great opportunity there from Kokal. Slava keeps it in at the point. 10 seconds to go in the hockey game. That pass was centered, but Erat couldn't get a stick on it. And we'll let the fans take it away as time winds down. And his team with a massive victory, a 5-1 win over France, 3 crucial points in the group, and these fans are going home happy.
What time do you think they'll shut it down in Prague tonight?
They got a couple of days.
I'm not talking about Brian Mudryk and Sean Simpson. I'm talking about the teams, particularly the Czech Republic. What a win.
That was a great win because, you know, playoffs were in the balance.